While connecting with your energy, Taurus, I did get the message that you did not miss your chance. At first, I was almost getting the sense of the one that got away, but this didn't necessarily feel like it applied to a person, although for some of you, maybe it does. But I feel like there's something in your life right now where maybe it feels like I've gotten to this point and I thought something would happen by now. I thought my life would be different. Like that's what I'm getting from you. But I don't think you've missed that chance. But I do think that there might be some kind of action for you to take or some sort of perspective shift that needs to happen. I did pull an animal card for you as well, just to kind of start us off. We'll get into the tarot in just a moment. But the first card that came out was the hyena. And what's interesting is that sometimes when I see this card, it's like you're not taking your dreams very seriously. You might also not be taking your feelings seriously. You could kind of laugh it off. And I think, especially nowadays, we have this sort of tendency to almost mask how we're feeling with humor. We might have like a dark sense of humor, or we just sort of say things in a very indirect way. But it actually feels like it prevents vulnerability. It prevents you from really taking seriously what it is that you're feeling or thinking or what it is that you feel called for. It's almost like you're just kind of laughing off, like, oh yeah, when I'm a famous writer or something like that. Like that could just be an example. But for others of you, this is about your emotions. You're not necessarily being super direct with yourself or with others about how you're feeling. And I think maybe this is also kind of like using humor to sort of mask your unhappiness. Because I do get a sense of discontentment, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like for some of you, or a lot of you watching this, you feel a little bit stuck in life, or you just feel a little directionless. And if you feel that way, I think it's because there's something that you believe has passed you by, or you missed your moment, but I don't think you have. But I do think it's important that you kind of name what it is that you're feeling and desiring. So, very interesting energy so far, very interesting messages. I would love to hear how this is applying to you thus far. Definitely comment down below. And as I'm shuffling the tarot cards for you here, I do just want to quickly announce that I have a sale on my website. You can get 30% off all of the astrology chart readings using the code in the stars through the month of January. So if you want to see what 2026 has in store for you, now is a great time for that, or even just take a deep dive into your natal chart. And of course, you can find all of my other services on my website as well, which is linked in the description of this video. You can also find my other social media accounts. So what do we have for Taurus? What guidance, what messages do we have for Taurus right now? Interesting. Yeah, the Tower in reverse is what came out first in the past. And I'm going to be honest, Taurus, it almost feels like for some of you, you went through something and it kind of felt like the end of the world. Or it might have seemed like a bigger ending or disruption than it actually was. And I don't want to say that because in a way that kind of like diminishes whatever it is that you went through. Obviously, this is a general reading, so I can't really speak to your individual situation. Maybe something truly catastrophic did happen, but it wasn't the end that you thought it was. That's kind of what I'm getting with the Tower in reverse here. And I feel like some of you might have also been maybe delaying the inevitable. And that could have been a pattern you were in before, or maybe it's still something that you are playing out now. But I am sort of getting this theme that's relevant to today's reading, where it's like in the past, you might have been delaying the inevitable or almost in kind of a denial of something. It could have been about a relationship for some of you with the Knight of Cups in reverse, but this could very well just represent you ignoring your own feelings or intuition, or maybe even doing something where it's like, your head was telling you that you needed to do it or live a certain way, be a certain way, but your heart really didn't believe in that. And maybe your heart wasn't in it for a while. I feel like there's almost this sense of dissatisfaction. Oh, what was I going to say? Did I lose it? There's a sense of dissatisfaction. There is some kind of yearning or calling that maybe you have forgotten or have been ignoring. Maybe even naming that is something that's important. Interesting. Three of Swords in reverse with the Queen of Swords in reverse. Some of you could be healing from this heartbreak or from this ending or shift. I'm going to be completely honest though. What actually comes to me is that some of you are psychologically or spiritually bypassing how you truly feel. And that's what I was getting with this sense of discontentment. It's almost like you've been trying to convince yourself that you're okay with where you're at or you're okay with what's happened. But it's like you still have something there beneath the surface, some kind of feelings that you're not allowing yourself to experience or to express. And so I think it's really important how to name how you might be filtering yourself or how you might be limiting yourself. Because I feel like beneath that, there is some sort of desire or calling. And it's almost like by being afraid to be vulnerable or fail at something that's important to you, you keep yourself stuck. You keep yourself stuck in a sort of prison. And I don't know why this light keeps changing, but it did just get brighter as I said it. So maybe there is some sort of illumination that's going on for you at this time. Finding this clarity. Queen of Pentacles. And this is sort of the challenge or change. And I feel like there is something about like maybe you chose the comfortable path or chose something secure or at least tried to make that your goal or aim. But it doesn't feel like it's truly sustainable if your heart isn't in it. And I think this expression or what I'm trying to express is like, instead of thinking what you feel what you feel. It's really important for you to get back in touch with your feelings. Because some of you are very psychological. Some of you are very good at analysis, whether it's with yourself or even other people. But it's almost like by having this almost psychological approach to things, you're not allowing yourself to really have an experiential emotion. You're not allowing yourself to actually just feel what you feel. You might even be saying, well, this is why I shouldn't feel sad, or this is why I shouldn't grieve this person or situation. This is why this happened or why I was drawn to this. Like you're trying to rationalize almost. But the cards for the future is the Sun and the Six of Wands. And so I feel like there is this sense of achievement, celebration, having your moment in the sun. And that's what I mean. Your moment has not passed you yet. And I think some of you feel like the best is behind you, but the best is yet to come. We have the Six of Wands, the Sun in the future. Both of these cards are some of the most positive cards in the deck. Arguably, the Sun is the most positive card in the deck, and there's a lot of clarity. The Sun is also very life-giving. It's very revealing. It's allowing things to be seen. And I think a lot of you, what's actually blocking you from success or from realizing your dreams is on some level a fear of being seen or being recognized, maybe because you made that wrong, maybe because you were raised by parents or in a culture where standing out or being noticed was frowned upon or even shunned in some way. So it feels like the shadow for you to kind of look at, Taurus, is why might I be holding myself back? I think that's an important question to really sit with. And don't just have a mental answer for that either. Like, really sit with that in your body. Maybe even doing a body scan. Where does this feeling reside in you on a somatic level? And just giving that unconditional love, that unconditional presence, using your discernment here. Sometimes it can be difficult to do these body work practices or these somatic practices if there is an element of trauma. Maybe sometimes that's helpful to do with a therapist or some kind of guide or coach or mentor. But ultimately, I think it's important that you have your discernment there, because it's not always going to feel comfortable to do somatic work. So it's not really about waiting for it to feel good. And maybe that's also kind of a message just for your life in general. It's not about waiting for something to feel good, because there is some willingness to be uncomfortable in order to become more actualized or realized. Are there any other messages for Taurus right now? I actually want to look at the bottom of the deck. Page of Swords. I feel like this is just about thinking what you're saying. You don't have to filter yourself all the time. Or at least find places or even write out what you're thinking. Because again, I feel like you're filtering something. And the Page of Swords can sometimes be a little bit clumsy, actually, with the way that they speak. They have a lot of ideas. They sort of go from one thing to the other. Kind of almost like a Gemini energy. That can be a way that gets expressed sometimes, is sort of like going from a lot of different things, having your hands in a lot of different things. Some of you are also meant to be sharing your voice, your words. Maybe you are writers or poets or musicians. I am getting that with the Page of Swords, because swords represent communication. So if you do have some sort of aspiration for being a speaker or a writer or some sort of creative expression, this feels like a double confirmation for me. Some of you, this could also be involving academia as well, like teaching roles. I could see that too. But I think saying what you want out loud, or saying what you want to yourself, maybe that's the first step here. It can actually open doors. Because a lot of the time when people find those life-changing opportunities, it's because they said something. They spoke something out loud, and either the person they were talking to has a connection or is the connection to an opportunity. But you need to be willing to speak about your desires. And again, maybe you need to be discerning with who you share what to. Not everybody is worth sort of sharing things that they might not understand, or even inadvertently try to talk you down from, or tell you it's not right or practical or realistic. There's a way to do that can be caring and loving, but I think a lot of the time people who sort of default with life just being the way it is, they can sometimes put that limitation on other people. But I feel like it's important for you to find a way to express and say what it is that you really want, even if that is just to yourself at this time. And those are all the messages I have for you right now, Taurus. Felt like some pretty important things coming through. I would love to hear how this was landing for all of you in the comment section down below, if this resonated. Even drop, like, I don't know, is there a hyena emoji? That'd be interesting. Or even like a little sun emoji. Just to let us know you've reached all the way to the end here, and I'd love to hear how this kind of played out for you. Again, I do have a link in the description of this video for my website, where you can book a chart reading for 30% off through the month of January. The code is on the top of my website as well. And you can find all of my links in the description of this video for my social media accounts, my other services. Pretty much any questions you might have probably answered in the description as well. And I will see you all next time, Taurus. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. please be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as well as that bell notification. Not only does that keep you up to date with what's in the cards for you, but it does support this channel as well. Take care.